What's up? Tyler from Plugged On. I'm here with an album review. This time I'm going to talk about the new album from Nile titled Vile Nilotic Rites. This is their follow-up to 2015's What Should Not Be on Earth. And this is their ninth album on Nuclear Blast Records. And I love Nile, their death metal band, Egyptian themes that they have in their music. And I just think they have a lot of fantastic albums and a lot of fantastic tracks, and they're interesting. Now, not every album I think has been fantastic, but I think their last one, What Should Not Be on Earth, was fantastic. And I honestly can't believe it's been 2015 is when that album came out, but I really enjoyed that one. I thought there were so many awesome tracks. I thought it was a little bit more return to form. I didn't really dig At the Gates of Sethu. Thought the production was just way off on that one, and honestly the songwriting just wasn't fully there for me personally. But you know, Annihilation of the Wicked in Their Darkest Shrines, Those Whom the Gods Detest, just awesome death metal records. I absolutely love it. Nile also had a little bit of a shakeup with this album. Dallas Toller Wade, one of their longtime guitarist and lead vocalist, left the band in 2017. They got Brian Kingsland in that role now. And honestly, I feel like it doesn't really impact their music too much. And I really questioned that, I guess, when he left. I'm like, I really wonder what Nile is going to sound like with new music. And I really don't think it has made a difference. And do I like this album? Yeah. I just don't think that this is Nile's best album ever. But I do think there's a handful of songs on here that I really dig. And honestly, for me, it's just that this album just loses me a little bit. I feel like the songwriting just isn't as gripping on this one as it was with their last album. That's just my personal opinion, of course. But starting off with Long Shadows of Dread. Long Shadows of Dread was fantastic and is their lead single. I like that song a lot. But once again, like, it doesn't blow me away like some of their other songs. But then you get into there's a few on here that I think are just some fucking jams. The Oxford Handbook is so fantastic, and that song is so heavy. It has that Nile riffage that I absolutely love. Carl Sanders, Brian Kingsland, just they rip it on here. And Nile, you know, in getting to another track that I really love, maybe my favorite track on the album is Revel in Their Suffering. I love when Nile just has a very consistent blast beat going in just a riff that is just ripping, and it's just absolute chaos. But it's kind of catchy at the same time. Like, the main riff in Revel in Their Suffering is so good, but then there's some really chunky sections in that song. And you know, Nile can also be very heavy. They like to slow it down a lot and just do some super chunky chords and rhythms maybe, and those are on here. This is definitely still a Nile album. They still have that, you know, the Egyptian influence, you know, maybe bringing in some more symphonic elements to their sound. They have those in here. Whereas The Wrathful Sky, I think, is a good example of that. But then there's just that crushing breakdown sort of section, you know, about midway through that song that's just awesome. And I like a lot. You know, Seven Horns of War, bringing in a horn sounds, and you know, that's really sounds great as well. And then they bring up in a good rhythm. You know, one of my favorite Nile track of all time is Annihilation of the Wicked, and that's only because of, you know, that guitar lead and then just bringing in that rhythm. The first time I heard that, it's just so crushing, and I was like, okay, I think I can enjoy this band. And they have some of that on here. That which is Forbidden is another one where they have more of a slower, more atmospheric lead guitar with some heavy rhythms underneath. So I think that works out. Snake Pit Mating Frenzy is probably the shortest track on here and really just hits you hard. It's, you know, less than 3 minutes. It's just non-stop riffage the whole time and speed. And then, you know, The Imperishable Stars Are Sickened and Seven Horns of War, both 8 minutes plus. So Nile, you know, they've never been afraid to write lengthy tracks, and They have some on here that I think are solid. I would say Seven Horns of War is a little bit more than the Imperishable Stars are sticking, in my opinion. But I would say overall, like I said, there's some classic Nile riffage on here, and just that heavy sound that makes Nile great. I don't think the sound on this album is as great as What Should Not Be on Earth, but that's just my opinion. I just wish that they would go back to their sound on In Their Dark Enshrined and Annihilation of the Wicked. Now, I know they're a much bigger band now. They have a better production budget, all this stuff. I get that, but man, that wall of sound that just hits you sometimes in a Nile track is something that is just awesome and really, that's death metal, and I love that stuff. So that's that. But overall, like, I do like this album. It just didn't really, like, there's moments, like I said, that I really enjoyed on a lot of tracks, but there's nothing that just completely blew me back like some of their other albums did. That's just my opinion. Maybe this one will grow on me for sure. I had to listen to it a few times for it to really, really click with me, and I know I'm a little late on this. Thing came out beginning of November, but anyways, so thanks for watching. Maybe this is an 8 out of 10. Let me know what you think of Vile Nilotic Rites from Nile. Thanks for watching. See you later.